Hey, John, my man, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm very good, Elijah. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here, my friend.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. And you see, John, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become an anthem for me. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, John, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest it in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. They say some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, John, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, John, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, John, I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely moment that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing John that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to say no to you. And getting to read a little bit about you, your philosophies, your insight, your journey, the stuff that you're doing, it's amazing. So I've got to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, John, for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge, but the application of it. And you see, John, ever since I realized that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing John on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, John, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So those folks they trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, John, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how John got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, John, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, this is a story I really transformed myself. Back in 1992, I was involved in an unfortunate incident where I received a traumatic brain injury. See, Elijah, I was shot in the back of the head in 1992. I was left to die. And Elijah, that was the easy part of my story, as it spiraled out of control with drug, alcohol addictions, gambling addictions, and even prison state before I found my man. So I want to give you a little introduction of my life. I was raised in a very unconventional childhood, Elijah. My father was in the mob, organized crime, and that's how we grew up. We're a family around crime, a very loving family. It was filled with love, but it was a criminal family. And I was very close to my dad. He was my best friend. Elijah, He never missed my ball games. He was a great father. And when he passed, I was devastated. My dad died of cancer. I was devastated. I thought my life was totally over. I was so angry at God. I was so mad. I want to wear my father's shoes. I want to be like him. But Elijah, I learned very quickly I was not his size. I was not cut out for this stuff. So immediately, I found myself in trouble. Instead of paying me a gambling debt, this man decided to shoot me in the back of the head and leave me to die. And that's what happened, Elijah. It was a
That's
traumatic incident.
that's so touching, and sorry about your dad. And all I can say is you're such a strong man. Why? Because you went through all of those things, and here you are sharing your story with the world, opening on podcasting, sharing your story with the world. That's amazing. And not many people will do that, because there are some folks who, through your story now, they would experience transformation. And I'm grateful at the fact that you're doing what you're doing. It's amazing. Okay, but I'm still curious, alright? So what is Triggered to Change really about?
Well, Trigger to Change is the book I just wrote, and it's about this story, Elijah. My book is only 60 pages, but it was meant to be read right through. It's very inspirational and very, very motivational. Now, Elijah, when I get out of the hospital, that's when my life really, really took a spiral downwards. I was filled with depression. I had a very bad eating disorder. That was the only thing that made me happy. Before I knew it, I was 330 pounds, sitting in a wheelchair. The depression was so bad, I started adding alcohol to it, and then eventually cocaine. And that's when it was, my life was so out of control. I just thought it was over. I sat in my apartment alone. I always felt alone, Elijah. When you say the darkness, I see alone. I always felt alone. I always felt alone. And when it changed is when the police were not too pleasant about my drug dealing. And boom, they kick in my door, Elijah. 9 cops come in, they find drugs, money, and they arrest me. But I was able to make bail, Elijah. Now I'm sitting in the parking lot of the police station, weighing 330 pounds in a wheelchair, no more drugs, no more money. I just felt like death. I just wanted to be over. And I was with my brother-in-law, and he said to me, "You need to go to detox." And I didn't have any options at the time, and I didn't even know what detox was. So I just went because I didn't know what to do. So I just went, and my head started clearing up after a couple weeks. And I had an interview to go to a halfway house. And this is where my life changed. There. I roll myself into the office, and I'm waiting for the executive director. She comes walking in, wobbling, and I could see there was something wrong. She sat down and proceeded to tell me her story, how she was in a cocaine-induced coma, and she had a serious brain aneurysm. And she was in a wheelchair for years. I think this is in 1992. She was sober for over 20 years at this time. Could not believe it. I'm looking at her, and she got out of the wheelchair. The wheelchair was like prison. It was the worst. I could not believe she got out. This is the first time in my life I ever witnessed somebody getting over something like that. I said, oh my God. She's walking around. I said, I can't believe this. I couldn't believe it. Every word she said, it was like gold to me. She was my God. She took me under her wing and she taught me how to get sober. But I still had this court case over my head. And she took me to court, and I remember the judge, and I said to myself, I was going to have a little leniency on me. First time offense, sitting in a wheelchair. He's got to have some leniency. He looked at me and he said, Mr. Carter, we do not discriminate in this courtroom. You will get the same sentence any drug dealer gets. I said, well, this ain't going to. He gave me 10 years. I was so angry. He gave me 10 years first offense. So my first thought was anger. I was angry. But he gave me a stay, meaning I just had to show up at prison a week later. So I was able to go home with Deb. She pulled the car over. She looked me right in the eye, and she said, John, many would run right now. Face your fears. You're not alone. And I said, oh, I'm not alone. I have support. I can do this. I was scared to death. I'm in a wheelchair. She brings me to prison. A state prison. I was so scared. So petrified. But I had a good name. My father's name was a good name in the criminal world. So I got to prison, and that morning, 3 guys entered my cell. And I said, oh my God, I'm in trouble here. They said, we're here to help you. I was shocked. I'm going to get help by inmates in prison. They said, we're going to start by getting you out of this wheelchair. They took me to the prison gym daily. They trained me and trained me. I was getting stronger and stronger. I was using this chair less and less. And who would have thought convicts in prison would have taught me this lesson? But in prison, I've seen a lot of recidivism. A lot of people coming in, getting out, coming back, a revolving door. So I said to myself, my father always taught me a lesson. Fail to plan, plan to fail. I said, you know what? I'm 31 years old right now. I don't want this. No, I'm making a plan. I called Deb, and she said, I've been waiting for this phone call. You're not alone, and we're going to help you. You come right back here. And thank God, because I got out of prison with $100 to my name. I was 32 years old with $100 and a bus ticket. All my chances if I went back to my hometown. Ouch. So I got on the bus, I went back to the halfway house where she re-entered me in society. And thank God, because it turned my life around. It turned my life. I am now a owner of my own gym. I'm a personal trainer and I own my own gym. Thanks to sobriety. Thanks to God. Thanks to the Almighty. I mean, my goodness. Now, I want to tell you a quick story about not quitting and not giving up. This is the first time in my life I thought to quit. Now, when I was shot, I entered a coma. I was in a coma for 90 days. And during this coma, it was one long dream. But it wasn't like a dream like it was foggy. It was a vivid dream where I could remember it like it was today. It was unbelievable. Now, the moral of this dream was I was in a hospital with a bunch of people. I had no idea who they were. And every day we had a swim race. And the winner of the race got to go home. But it hurt like hell to get in the pool. Hurt like hell. Remember, this was a dream. It hurt like hell. And I said, that's it. Because I kept losing. I said, I quit. That's it. I'm not getting out of this bed again. I'm not racing again. This old man, who I had no idea who it was, no resemblance to anybody, sat on my bed and he said, John, you're not going to quit. You're not alone. And I'm going to coach you. He took me down to that swim pool daily. And he taught me to swim. He trained me. So now it's the morning of the big race. He gets me down to the pool. He's giving me a pep talk. He's really cool. I swim like a bat out of hell. I touched that wall, and I woke up. And thank God I didn't quit, Elijah.
Amazing. This is profound, I tell you, and thank you so very much for not keeping all of this to yourself. I tell you, I find this very inspiring, motivating. I love it. Okay, you've answered most of my questions, but there is this one. What would you say to someone feeling stuck or ashamed of their past?
What I would say to them, and you talk about being ashamed, for a long time, I didn't tell anybody my story. I own a business, so when I meet somebody, to tell them I was involved in a crime, I became a drug dealer, I got shot in the head, I went to prison, but joined my gym. They'd run. So I didn't tell people the truth. I would tell them a little part of the story. Little parts. So I came up with a story. I told people that I was shot in the head, but it was a hunting accident. So it wasn't a complete lie because I was shot in the head. I just didn't tell them that I was the one being hunted on. But so I would tell my clients a little part of the story each time as I got familiar and I trusted them. And that's when my client said, you have to do a TED Talk. This is the first time I'm telling my story. She says, you have to do a TED Talk. And that went so amazingly great. So amazingly well. It was so received well by the audience. I said to myself, I have to tell my story more. So that's why I wrote the book. Now, you're somebody that's facing and want to give up, don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. There's always people that are there to help. You just have to search them and look for them because you're not alone. You might feel alone right now, but you are not alone. We have the man upstairs. We are not alone, Elijah. And I wrote the book for several reasons, but one reason was what you were just talking about. Because the first time I felt and saw somebody get over something and knew that I could do it now, that's what I want the people to see. So the same feeling when I seen Deb, I said, she can do it, so can I. Now I want your readers, your people to read my book and say, you know what? She did it. He did it. You know something? So can
You
I,
do it.
because I'm not alone.
I got that, and I'm taking that as a final thought. Beautiful. So, for folks who would like to make a purchase of your book, John, or reach out to you, or even ask questions, how can that be possible?
You can email me, talk to me. You have my number. You can get in touch with me in so many different ways. And anybody that drops your name to me, Elijah, to be I'll be more than happy to have them in my gym where they can train, they can talk, or they can do both. And my gym is a private gym, and I keep it that way because my clients not only want to work and train, but they also want to talk about their problems and hear my problems, and we can bounce off each other. And that's why I keep my gym completely private, because Fitness is just not for the muscles in the body. It's right here, buddy. It's my medication. It's what keeps me sane. I love this. I love my gym, and I keep it private because I see my clients love it. They love this. I have clients that are in their 90s. I have clients that are teenagers. I have clients all over the spectrum,
Wow,
and
that's
I love what
amazing.
I do.
I tell you, it's
Yeah.
amazing what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing. It's beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show. Okay, what's your email again or your website?
But my website is
Yeah,
www.titaniumhealthfitness.com.
.com. Okay, got it. So that's going to be the end of the show, John. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot, my man. Thank you.
Elijah, thank you so much, my friend.
That was a beautiful